Good day folks, and welcome to my jungle. So today I'm going to take this new Africa Twin on a little bit of a trip on the farm. I'm here in central South Africa and I'm a newbie owner of the Honda Africa Twin. This is the DCT model, and I just purchased this motorbike recently, and I'm going to give you my review as a newbie big bike rider. I've been riding motorbikes for many years here on the farm. At the moment I'm using the Yamaha AG200. It's an agricultural bike, so it's much smaller than this one, and I've actually never ridden on a bigger bike like this one before. So I found this quite intimidating, especially in the beginning, and it's getting better now. So I'm just going to give you my overview as a newbie driver of this motorbike. Like I said, what I found very intimidating in the beginning was the sheer size, the feel of size when you come from a smaller bike. What I usually drive daily on the farm is a Yamaha AG200. It's an agricultural bike. That's what I drive daily. That's what I'm used to driving all day long. So coming from that, it feels intimidating, but I must say I'm starting to get used to to the feeling, and I'm actually starting to enjoy the feeling of this bike. And once you're going, it actually doesn't feel that heavy. You're on a very powerful machine. You can feel you're on a very powerful machine. I suppose once you start to get into more technical terrain and stuff like that, then the weight is going to start to become an issue again, or then you're going to feel the weight. So this is in central South Africa, Northern Cape, maybe 160 kilometers, 100 miles from Kimberley in the Northern Cape, to the west of Kimberley. This is area called the Green Kalahari, and so this area, we're mostly farming with cattle here. I think it's got four different modes, preset modes. Gravel mode, then you have urban mode. That's a little bit different settings. Then you have a tour mode, and then you also have off-road mode. So for each of those modes, there's a preset. They change the power and the engine braking and the torque for each of those modes to be best suited to what the situation is you're in. Another interesting feature on this bike is the DCT. It's a dual clutch transmission, so you don't have a clutch. It's basically an automatic motorbike, and I must say I found it quite enjoyable to drive with this DCT. It's actually very comfortable, not having to switch gears all the time. I think this is especially nice in an urban environment, where you have to go through a lot of traffic lights and stops and stuff like that. You never have to worry about being in first gear after stopping. You can focus on your driving and not worry about changing gears all the time. But I guess that's a personal preference. A lot of guys will rather go for the manual. Looking back on it, I think I would have done it again. If I had the choice again to go back to manual, I think I will stick with the DCT for now. It's only 600-700 kilometers that I did on this bike, but I feel quite confident that I will stay with this DCT system. It's a nice change from everyday driving around in a manual bike. It's nice to, if you step into something else, it's a little bit of a different experience. It feels like a new experience every time you get onto this bike. Okay, so this is off-road to track into the veld. So let's see what happens. I guess this is good experience for me. It's actually a video on YouTube, or a channel on YouTube. It's this guy in Australia, Mad Mick. And I looked at some of his videos. He's riding a Africa Twin, and he's basically driving off-road, like in serious off-road with that motorbike, and it falls over all the time. And you know, he knows what he's doing. He throws that bike around like it's a dirt bike. And you know, and I looked at it. He doesn't have crash bars on it. He's got the standard suspension, everything, and there's not much damage on that bike. I looked on YouTube, you know, after he's been, you know, it falls over all the time, and he's really riding rough, very rough with that bike. And it's actually the bike still looks fine. So it looks like the standard bikes, you know, they crash very well. It seems like they don't get too much damage on when they do fall over. Okay, I must say, if I compare to the AG200, sorry, the ride is a little bit more harsh, I would say. That AG200 is much softer. The suspension feels a lot softer, but I suppose that's the way the suspension is set up at the moment. I'm just gonna stop here. This is a face that you see everywhere in South Africa. Old farmhouses that's been done, broken down, and people have left many years ago. This area doesn't have many people anymore. So we had such wonderful rains here in central South Africa the past few months. Those birds doing that tick 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 tick. It's kiwit. We call them kiwit. This is just absolutely lovely. Being able to ride in the middle of the African bush on an Africa Twin. Luckily there's no lions here, if you were wondering. There used to be, but now this area is all farmland now, so no lions, no leopard. There's only some cheetah. They saw some cheetah running around recently. There's 2 of them in this area, but they are not really dangerous. The most dangerous ones are the leopards. This terrain is really helping me to gain a little bit of confidence with this bike. I think this will be an absolute joy to drive this motorbike around as a touring machine. You know, to tour all over the place, all over South Africa. You know, especially on the paved roads, this is an absolute fantastic motorcycle to drive. There's so much power, and it's so effortless. And this seat height also is really not a problem. I've got it on the standard seat height. I had it on the lower one for maybe 2 days, and then I put it back again to the standard seat height. I'm 1.78 meters long. Okay, put it in neutral, and then it's got this handbrake so it doesn't roll back. This stuff is really loose. There I could just feel the traction control working when I was changing the lanes. What would my recommendation be as a brand new Africa Twin owner, and also as a person who doesn't have any experience on bigger motorcycles? I would say go for it. Don't be intimidated when you get on the bike for the first time if you're not familiar with the bigger bikes. I think that's quite normal, and just go ahead and start driving around. It's an absolute fantastic motorcycle, and the more I'm driving it, the more I'm starting to like it. So thank you guys for tuning in, and please remember to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will make sure there's more content like this coming in the future.